Reporting is one of those things that everyone will have to do. If you're working with AdWords, you're going to have to report the successes of your tribulations and the successes of the things that you're doing on a regular basis. Now, some people do this on a daily basis. Some people do it on a weekly basis. Some people do it on a monthly basis. And lots of different agencies report in very different ways. What we've seen is very commonly, and what we started out doing was we would look at analytics packages, we would download CSVs from the AdWords interface, and in our early days, we would take screenshots of Urchin analytics reports and paste them into Word documents, PDF them, and send them off to our clients. And all of this was essentially based upon we were giving reports as raw data that's coming back from these tools. And of course, that's a hard thing for any customer to swallow. If you're getting back a 500-page report of every single keyword that brought anybody to your website and the click-through rates and the bounce rates and the time on site, it's almost like saying, here, you do the analysis. And it's not really giving a report of how we did. It's not very strategic. So the first thing that we've identified when we started looking at ways to improve our own reporting, and maybe this is something that you can use as well, is that it really depends on who you're reporting to as to the format and the type of information that you'll include in those reports. We have things all the way on one side like the C-levels, so a company owner or one of your clients that owns their own business, or a president or a vice president level or something of that nature will have very different needs from your reports than someone who is in the mid-management level, or even someone who's actually down there working on the accounts with you. So I want to walk through just a few of the different different reporting styles that we use for these different levels of report consumers. Now, the first one is the top. So it's a business owner. It's the person who owns the business that you're working with. It's the person who is tasked with the success or failure of the higher organization, and they probably aren't going to be interested in a 500-page keyword detail level report. In fact, what we found is that they have very little time to absorb all of these reports, and they certainly don't have hours to pour through this and come up with their own insights. And it's not because they can't do it, and it's not because they don't have the technical expertise or they don't have the chops. It's because they don't have the time. They have a lot of things going on. They're managing a business, and the data and the analytics is just one input to their business and one small part of their full days. So what we found is that we have a lot of success if we condense these things down to very, very short reports. For example, a one-page report in this case is one that's using a SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. What we do is we just go through a few bullet points. What happened this month that we consider to be a strength? What were some of the things that we're going to work on for next month in the weaknesses area? And then for threats and opportunities, what sorts of things are happening out there in the marketplace that could potentially hurt us in the future? Maybe there's other competitors that are starting to amp up their ad spend, and now we're having to pay higher cost per clicks, and we want to alert the CEO to that level of detail. Or maybe there's an opportunity in that we have a new product that is relatively unmarketed in these paid search markets, and we can jump in there with very low cost per clicks and very little competition. And then, of course, over here on the right-hand side, we've just put a couple of graphs here to show overall progress over time. And these are the kinds of things where CEOs tend to like graphs that go up and to the right, and this is a wonderful way for us to show the very pertinent information that helps the CEO gauge where they are, see what we're doing, where we've been, and where we're going. Now, another thing that we like to include oftentimes is comparative data. So while benchmarking is a very controversial way of reporting and can be have found as many detractors as there are supporters, one thing that's really interesting is you can compare your particular client against some of their competitors. And you can do that with something as simple as a Google Trends report. So here what we've done is we've taken some examples of their particular brand name keyword next to their top 5 competitor keywords or their top X competitor keywords, and we've seen how things have happened. Now we see that there is something that happened as a seasonal trend where everyone rose, but we can see that they rose faster than their competitors. And this is the kind of thing that a C-level person can use to say, are we doing a good job in steering this ship? Are we running the business in the right way as compared to our market or as compared to our competition?